First blow. When I was 17 years old, I fell hook, line, and sinker for a young man from the public high school. Now, he was Catholic, but was such a nuisance in my high school that he was kicked out. One Sunday night, he and his buddies figured out that they could get school canceled for a day by putting super glue in the classroom door locks, thus making it impossible for us to go to class. The janitor took the doors off their hinges, and all those boys had to leave school and attend the public high school. So I think it's pretty fair to say that he was kind of a jerk. And I know that's not entirely fair. Most young males are jerks, and most young females help get them that way. Now, before this summer, I was relatively innocent. But as soon as one girl loses her virginity in your crowd, the rest begin to fall like bowling pins. We just have to experience this delight of human nature. So later that summer, I started my real work on becoming a good Catholic girl. I ended up being very practiced in the art of partying, watching football, and putting out. Us Catholic teenagers did not have a lot to do in my hometown except party, watch football, and put out. Thus, we became experts at drinking and driving and fucking in backseats of cars. As far as the drinking goes, we had several means to obtain alcohol. The best was to have your older sibling's driver's license. Use it once at a party store, and then always go to that same party store for your beer and hard alcohol. You can also have an older sibling buy for you, but that gets really old fast. Or if you're really desperate, ask a stranger, preferably a young man, to buy booze for you on their way into the party store. It's risky, but it generally worked out. As far as fucking, I started doing this the summer before my junior year, and it started with this troublemaking glue boy, Phil. I didn't plan to fuck him, but it all worked out that way, and it first got started with some pretty hardcore foreplay, which at this stage of my sexual experience included heavy making out with tongues and hickeys, tit feeling on bare skin under the bra, or with the bra shoved up over the tits. Always a nice move. A couple hand jobs, and usually some very awkward finger fucking, which never really did a damn thing for me, but really worked up the boys. I'll get to this more shortly, but for now, let me tell you how much I like this jerky kid. I think it's fair to say that I really lost it. I believed I was in love, and yet, sadly, knew in my heart he didn't care all that much for me, except as a means to gain more sexual experience. My girlfriend Laura and I would participate in this stupid game called Drive by the House. This is where we would get in Laura's red Maverick and drive around my small town's neighborhoods, slowly going by the houses of the guys we liked. I'm not exactly sure what we expected, but a couple of times it did bear some fruit, where they would either come out and we could see them, or even better, they would strike up a meaningful conversation, such as, "Hi, what are you doing?" Nothing, just driving by." "Oh, where are you going?" "I don't know, maybe Mickey D's." "Maybe." "Oh, that sounds good. Maybe I'll drop by." You know, cool, stimulating conversations like that. I only ever had one boy that I know of drive by my house, and after I invited him in, I had to ask him to leave really quickly because he started making out with me right in front of my mom. He was really drunk, quite grabby, and should not have been out, let alone driving a vehicle. After he left, my mom asked me, "How come that boy came over here and was acting like that? I've never seen anything like that before. Oh my God, how rude." I didn't have the courage to tell her that we'd been making out pretty hard on the high school dance floor, and he had his hands down my pants and he got a huge boner, and I was pretty sure he came over here to have me finish the job. You know, this just isn't something that you bring up with your mother. This is where my love affair started. Queen of the Miraculous Metal Church, or more accurately, the parking lot of Queens, as we refer to it. I'd gone to a party near my church and connected with this wise-ass young man, Phil. Now, he wasn't that great looking. He wasn't ugly. He was just normal. Very normal. So normal I don't even remember how big his cock was, which is kind of a big deal considering what I did with it. I mean, you ask most women after they've had sex with a man and they'll tell you with pretty good accuracy how big the dude was. So I'm guessing he must have just been really average, because I don't remember it being really, really small or huge. He got involved with our group because my friend Laura started dating fellas from the public school. He was a friend of a guy she liked, and he figured out that there was a whole crowd of chicks who didn't know that he was such a jerk yet, and he could take advantage of it. I picked him up at a party, and I'm sure the scene went something like this. So, you play volleyball, right? Yeah, I like to set up and spike balls. Yeah? Yeah. I was real cool and edgy like that. I thought it'd make me look, kind of sensual and sexy with the guys. Really cool stuff. Anyway, he seemed to like me, and as the evening came to an end, I told him I could drive him home, knowing full well we were going to make out on the way home in the backseat of my dad's retired car, the Pitmobile, as we affectionately referred to it. It was a 1976 Olds Regency 98, and it had over 127,000 miles on it. They don't make back seats like that anymore. There was enough room for Phil to nearly get my pants off and easily take his pants down to his ankles, requesting that I give him a blowjob. I think at that time I had seen maybe 2 penises in my life, besides my dad's when I accidentally walked on him in the bathroom while he was standing up after pooping. The other 2 penises were from a cute fella I should have hung out with more, named Tim from Vandercook Lake, and a guy I met at a disco strangely near Vandercook Lake named Jim the lifeguard. I only touched their penises, and only one of them had jizz shoot out of it. That was the lifeguard. So when Phil had his pants down to his ankles, revealing his hard cock, and asked me in a pleading kind of way if I would please give him a blowjob, since I didn't have that much experience with penises, I actually believed that meant I was supposed to literally blow on it and something incredible would happen. Good for me, I said, I've never done that before. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do that. He then explained it to me. You take your mouth and you put my cock in it, and you suck it and you go up and down a lot, and you lick my dick head and the shaft, and you keep going until I come. Now come on. I really need you to do this for me. You gotta do this for me. I mean, look at this. This is just, it's outrageous. I'm really dying here. Come on, you're pretty. Let's go. Come on, do this. Will you please? Come on, please give me a blowjob, please. He sounded like my overly verbal begging cat who meows like 30 times when we go to feed her. So I sucked him off because I wanted him to shut the fuck up. I did do this a couple more times later in my life, nothing that I'm really proud of, but boy, can men be pathetic about getting their dick sucked. I guess it must feel really good. I remember I did not want to do this with Phil, but because I wanted him to like me, and I literally did want him to shut the fuck up, I did it, and I really hated it. His dick had tasted like old sweat, the texture of the pubic hair on my lips was nasty, and the smell of his crotch was like a gamey French camembert. I tried to do everything he told me, but he requested a lot of things at the same time, and coordinating sucking on a dick is still to this day a great practice in multitasking, and we all know how that goes. There's your tongue to consider, making sure your teeth are covered up right. Are you varying the motion and activity enough? Are you going fast enough, slow enough? What do you do with your hands? Is this really, really right? I remember praying that this just can't go on much longer. Can it, Lord? Lord? And then he grabbed my head, which I would learn is a normal thing that men do when getting their dick sucked. Gagging on his cock, drooling uncontrollably, sucking and slurping and trying to keep my head going up and down and up and down, I thought, oh my God, this is awful. Would you please hurry up and do whatever it is that you need to do? Get it over with. I can't believe people do this. He kept coaching me too. He'd say stuff like, Yeah, more of that. With your tongue. With your tongue. Go up and down more. Yeah. Faster. 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 Slower. Slower. Faster. Slower. Faster. Yeah, more of that. More of that. Ugh. And then finally, after ramming his dick down my throat one last hard time, he kindly pulled his cock out, made an incredible releasing yelp sound, and shot jizz all over himself. Ugh. Scared the hell out of me. And that was it. That was my first blowjob. There's more to the story. I already told you that I lost my virginity to this guy. But that summer has a lot more driving involved. There's more trips to Mickey D's and the lake and the disco. We have to go past Phil's house many, many, many more times. And I'll have to listen to Journey's Open Arms about 1,000 times while fantasizing about Phil kissing me and professing his love before that fateful night when I lose the rest of what one would call innocence. Because let's be clear, I certainly was not innocent. Naive, overconfident, and a little sad, but not innocent. You can't be when you grow up Catholic.